Hello, everybody. Quick sound check. See if it works. Yes, sound works. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Sorry about yesterday. I had a small technical difficulty. My camera fell over and it bent my USB wire, so I didn't have no feed to any of this stuff. But figured out it was just a wire. Lucky thing. And welcome back. Today, I'm going to talk to you guys about what you should know before you pick up a drone, because the reason why I'm making this is simply because I received over the past 2 weeks almost 40 emails from people asking me that they're brand new into this stuff. I don't know how they ended up asking me, but even on the forums, I see a lot of people asking, which drone should I go for? What drone should I buy? And I'm always telling them the same answers. So I figured I'm going to cover this in the live stream. And I prepared a lot of info about it. I informed you about the stuff. The drones that I'm going to be covering today are all drones that I've either tried, that I've owned, that I have been able to use, or that I have seen hands-on and that I'm convinced of that are good beginner drones all the way up to the prosumer, because even some people that are just starting, picking up something super expensive like the Autel Evo 2 Pro, which at this point is currently at a sale on local buyers, where I've seen it that is like some Best Buys have it for under $1,000, which is one of the best deals that you can get at this point at the Autel Evo 2 Pro 6K. And oh my God, we have already Brad Barry over here with $20. Thank you so much, my friend. You guys don't have to do this, you know that, right? I'm blessed. We are over the 3,200 subscribers already. I just went and look at my analytics like a week after I just realized that I'm almost at 3,200. So we're way past that. Thank you very much, Bradbury. I really appreciate you, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see who we got here. There's a lot of people in this chat that I even haven't been able to address. We get Bradbury, we get Gringo Loco, we get Hot Rod in Daytona, we get Jedediah K, we get Mid-State Rustics, Pablo P, Peter Guava. Always the same type of people that always like hang with me. Eric Hill, what's up, my man? So let's get started on this whole thing. Most of the time when I look at people, when they talk about stuff with, oh, I want to get into droning, my first question to those people is always, what you going to use it for? What are your expectations? Is it budget? Is it performance? Is it for work? Is it for recreational? You have to ask yourself those questions first. Most of the time, people just look at what everybody looks at, and that's usually you get thrown at that whole DJI thing at you, and then get the Autel fanboys. They say, "Oh, buy the Autel Evo 1. It's cheap right now because it's used." And well, you have to look at a lot of factors in purchasing something like this, because first of all, you need to inform yourself where you're at. And I'm going based on this live stream. We're going off that everybody lives in the United States. I know there's different rules for Canada. There's different rules for Germany. There's different rules for the United States. There's different rules for all over the country. Some countries don't even have any rules yet at this point about drones. And so therefore, I would say simply look for the budget first. What are you able to actually afford? You know what I mean? So how much money can you spend for it? And I know that sometimes, like in Canada and stuff, and availability, you have to look for that as well, which is like if I want to buy a DJI Air 2S that just came up because it's super popular at this point, and you have to look at, is it even available for me? What about accessories wise? Because when I first got this Autel Evo 2 Pro, it was brand new. It was one of my biggest investments. I spent $2,500 on this, including the rugged bundle, to get myself set up with multiple batteries on this, with multiple other things. And there were no accessories available at that point. So you will have to wait. If the drone is brand new, you will have to wait for accessories to actually become available. Those accessories also include ND filters for every drone. If you are looking for the best performance of your cameras, you need ND filters, guys. This is all ND filters, all for these different type of drones. For my Parrot Anafi, for my Mavic 2 Pro, for my Autel Evo 2 Pro, for my Mavic Mini, for my DJI FPV, you need accessories. So that's expensive too. If you start getting into the first drone, the ND filter is going to run you about $80, between $50 and $80. Oh. And then you got to look at other accessories, extra batteries and stuff. So you got to prioritize based on your budget what you're going to have available to you. So at some point, this DJI Mavic Mini was available at Costco's for a bundle of a 5 more combo where it had like there's like this cute little bell over here that you can put this drone in and charge up your battery, and it looks nice. And you have one extra battery, and you got the drone with it, and it comes with that little small controller. The good parts that I like about DJI drones in general is because it's a huge company, they can offer most likely the best type of performance to you on their technology, because they have a huge backing based on other products, because they're not only doing drones, they're doing action cameras, they're doing gimbals, they're doing stabilizers, they're doing all kind of cool stuff for be able to determine that they have something. So now when you look at my lineup over here, out of my 5 drones I own for myself, 3 of them are already DJI. So if you are just for recreational, I would say DJI is your best choice. Now, which DJI to go with depends on your budget, and it depends on what you're actually looking for. You're looking for 4K, you're looking for performance, you're looking for speed, you're looking for getting into FPV. There's so many options, so many things. So now let me share the screen with you, because there is something else that is not a DJI, that is one of the best beginner drones that I've actually ever tried, and I didn't even know that it existed. So let me share the screen. Share screen. There we go. Share the screen. There we go. So now I'm going to blow the screen up big for you guys. So if you guys look right here, you have the Holystone HS720E 4K, one of the best starter drone that I've ever flown, because somebody bought it online, and it was like 2 weeks ago that I got to play around with it. And it handles really good, and the video quality on this whole thing is really good too. And when you look at the price range right now, it's below $300 for a 4K camera that has a tremendous amount of flight time in there. It has super good what you call that? It has super good performance, and it has accessories already coming with it in this bundle, which is really good. And for $300, that's one of the best starter drones that I've flown. It was super stable. It was windy as hell. I was surprised for a $300 drone that is not even any of those main brands. That Holystone HS720E was really, really, really good. And then afterwards, looking at the footage when he pulled it down to his laptop, and I checked it out, it was great. It was freaking awesome. You know what I mean? So let's see what we have here. Let's go through the chat real quick. And we are at Josh Spike says in German, even if he's in Germany and it's 12 o'clock at night over there, he will be here. Josh, I appreciate your effort, but you can even watch the rerun. It doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Don't have to extra stay up for that. Hot Rod says, I think a global hog would be worth buying if I could afford one. Yeah, that's a very expensive drone. So what else do we have here? Anybody has any questions? Even if you have any questions, don't be afraid to drop them in the chat, and I will try to address it if I catch it in time. All right. There's a delay of like 30 seconds in this live stream. We appreciate you what you do for us pilots. I appreciate you, my friend, and your support and your continued support as well. Hello from Ireland. Oh, we have Ireland over here. Oh, over there, it's like freaking 11 o'clock at night right now. And I've seen somebody else from Guatemala over here as well. Guatemala City. Pablo, what's up, my man? Lone Star UAV. How you doing, my man? And Arizona Drone Dude. So, where I was? Oh, so the Holy Stone HS720 E was one of the best starter drones that are started with, and it's below $300 right now. So I'm gonna update my description of this video or of this live stream by tonight, so that all these drones that I'm gonna be touching here will be in my description over there as affiliate links. So if you guys think about picking up one, I might even have info in this live stream that has info for you to learn something about it, even if you're a seasoned pilot already or operator. Okay. What is the easiest software to use for editing? There is no easiest software. If you don't know nothing about editing itself, it's up to preference on how far you want to dive into it, how deep you want to dive into that stuff. No editing software itself. I mean, there are some that are really easy because you just put the clips together and then throw some music on top. It's pretty much self-explanatory, but every editing software has, depending on how much effort you want to put into it, has the possibility of you putting stuff together. Free software, the only one that I know about that is really good, but you gotta have a powerful PC, is if you edit 4K, is DaVinci Resolve, because that one comes as a free version without watermark, and it's one of the best programs that I've ever used. And I came from a long time of a Sony Vegas time. So I did a lot of times, a long time I did Sony Vegas for like 7 years. And then I was debating if I should go with Adobe Premiere or Final Cut Pro or whatever. I just never saw myself spending every month so much money for Adobe. Yeah, you get all these other things. You get Adobe Premiere, you get Photoshop, you get Lightroom, you get all these things. But I don't do a lot of photography. So and I have already a standalone version of Adobe Photoshop, so it didn't seem plausible for me and reasonable to spend that amount of money. So I came across DaVinci Resolve, which at that point was DaVinci Resolve 14, and I downloaded the free version, and I was excited about it because it was very similar to Sony Vegas, just with more options, and you could do more, and you could add on effects, and you had better quality, and you could render in different codecs and in different formats, which was really good. So editing software itself all depends on what you want to do. There's Filmora, there's so many other ones out there. You just have to determine how much time are you willing to invest to start off with editing for your videos and what you're actually going to edit them for. If it's for clients and stuff, I would say you got to go with a higher profile software already, which is Adobe Premiere, Final Cut Pro, or even DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve itself is a one-time purchase for the studio version. I purchased two actually on accident. I bought one for the DR14, and then I bought one for the DR15, not knowing that I actually could have been upgrading for free in DaVinci Resolve once you get the studio version. So now I'm already on DaVinci Resolve 17, and I haven't spent any more dime on it. And it's a one-time deal that you purchase it, and there's so many options. I mean, the videos speak for itself. It's easy to use once you get used to it, and there's so many more options. And there's actually also movie studios in Hollywood that actually utilize DaVinci Resolve. So much to the editing part. I recommend the Mini 2, so the new person doesn't need to mess with a lot of pre-flight calibrations and not spend too much. So that's the one thing with DJI. DJI comes straight out of the box like one of the best drones that you can actually start with. So if you start off, besides the Holy Stone, next on our list, we would have already the Mini 1, which is, at this point, pull up the screen again, right here for you guys. So which is, at this point, right now, $499 for the Fly Mode combo. So $500 for the Fly Mode combo. And if you have certain tools like these in here, you can actually find a comparison tool and save some money and buy it for $414. The other cool part is because the Mini 2 came out, which is $599 brand new. If you look at it that way, because the Mini 2 came out, Minis itself, DJI Minis are going right now used in a very good condition because the batteries last a lifetime. They're really, really good batteries, and you can leave them in storage for like 4 or 5 months without having problems. Recharge them and do it again. I know because I barely have used this Mini for a while, and then I recharged the battery and it still flew for like 30 minutes. And there's no problems with it. So you can buy a Mini for easy use for like $300, sometimes even $250, really cheap, because these people are selling their Minis to buy a Mini 2. Now, the Mini itself, in comparison to this drone itself, has 2.7K in resolution. So now it comes down to what you actually needing the drone for. So if you're a recreationalist and you just want to have fun getting into learning how to fly, DJI Mavic Mini is one of the best things to start with because it's tiny, it's very easy to set up, and it comes with very DJI is all about how comfortable stuff is and how small, minimalist kind, and you get all these neat functions where you can screw on your controller sticks and all that stuff and hide your controller sticks, put it somewhere else. Yeah, you can lose them too that way, but you put the controller back together like this and you get one small tiny profile. This is like pretty much all you have to pick up for, and then of course one extra battery that you have, and this is pretty much it. Like in your hand right here, this is what you can go around with, and you usually have your cell phone already with you, and you can just put that cell phone inside this controller. So that's where Mini comes in really handy. Also the Mini 2, because the Mini 2 now has 4K resolution. So now it comes down to what you actually want performance wise. If you're willing to just film in 2.7K, upscale to 4K, or even just downscale to 1080p. In 2.7, you get the best of both worlds, a little bit in between. And if you upscale to 4K, there's barely any loss of resolution. Like it's minimal. You're barely going to be able to see the difference. You know what I mean? So now if you go with the Mini 2, the Mini 2 is $599 right over here. And the $599 give you a very good drone with extra propellers and a charging hub, 3 extra batteries, this bag right here. And it's one of the best deals for a tiny, small profile drone for beginners, because it also has, as most people don't like it though, has geofencing. As I touched it before, geofencing has an upside and it has a downside. The upside is that it restricts you to fly in certain areas that you're not allowed to fly or you shouldn't be flying. DJI took it upon themselves that they restrict you automatically if you don't know what you're doing and you're the first time flyer and you're going up into the sky and that thing no like take off because it tells you, oh, you're in a no-fly zone. It just saved you a big amount of trouble, because you can get arrested if you fly in the wrong areas without permission. So if you didn't know about it because you didn't inform yourself prior to that about the FAA regulations, you just pick this up at Costco and say, hey, babe, let's go. I like fly the drone at a park. Yeah, there's an airport like 2 miles away and you're not supposed to fly this thing. So it saved you a lot of hassle. A lot of people swerve off DJI because of geofencing, because they want to be able to fly in certain areas, but that mainly has to do because of people like me who have clients, and if we have to fly somewhere close to an airport, which is like within 3.5 miles, 4 miles, we have to inquire permission and stuff. We don't want to wait for the permission, but we know that we requested for it, and then we can just take off and fly within the restrictions that is there, like 50 feet, 60 feet, stay below those 50, 60 feet so you can barely get into trouble for it. And then when the permission gets granted, you was already in the air and you shot your footage. So that's why plenty of people go with non-geofencing. But DJI took that upon themselves in their apps. Solid B for the Mavic 2 Pro, for the FPV, for the Mini, for the Air 2S, whatever it is, there is geofencing in there, and that geofencing is not going to allow you to fly unless you inquire permission, and even that sometimes is a hassle, and it takes a long time, and sometimes you don't even get it. But for beginners, it's one of the best things that you can go with. Another good drone for beginners that I had, let's go through the chat real quick, real fast. I miss out otherwise. Johnny Truesdale, what's up, my man? How you doing? Do you think Autel will try give us Evo 2 Pro owners 6K log video in their next firmware? Log video. There is log video in the firmware already. And you have 265 as well options available. So you can actually file. It's just the color science sucks because it's really grayed out. Like the log files on this is really grayed out. Like it's hard to color grade that, to be honest. But there is log file already available for the Evo 2 Pro. Shortcut runs on older computers and is free. Raw therapy for photos. Okay, so there you have it. There's your editing software, my friend. Fellow New Yorker here, Johnny Truesdale. Woo! My best friend is a New Yorker too, a Buffalo New Yorker. Hot Rod and Daytona. By the way, I bought a second Evo 2 Pro on sale. Can really beta test now at no risk. Yes. Well, that's if you're willing to just, risk your Evo 2 falling out of the sky. I don't want any of these drones fall out of the sky, so I'm really cautious about it. I cannot afford to just buy a drone. Mahalo to all. I know many of you are advanced. I'm totally new to this, so all this info is really beneficial to me. You're very welcome, my friend. The reason why I make this is because there are beginners out there. Frederick Barr, howdy. What's up, my man? How you doing? And Thomas Baker, hello, everybody. Lone Star says, I think the little difference in price between the Mini and the Mini 2, I could recommend the Mini 2. It's selling at Costco for $439 with an extra battery and SD card. So there you got it. Lone Star UV Kai said just at Costco, if you go Costco, it's $439. So if you don't want to buy a used one, the Mini 2 right now is the thing to start off with, which is really, really, really good. So I would say that's one of your best bets to go with. Gringo Loco said, can geofencing be hacked? Asking for a friend. Yes, it can. There is unlock software and stuff. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh my God. There's unlock software that you're actually going to be able to use it. It's on the website. I'm not quite sure how that works with any of these drones because I don't really do it. But I've seen it before, and yes, it's possible to actually get around that geofencing where the software somehow gets interrupt. It's in a different location or something like that. And I've seen it before, and it works for every drone different. Do I recommend it? No, I don't. If you don't really know that you're not supposed to be flying there, I would say geofencing is your best friend because, like I said, you can get into a lot of trouble. I'm not quite sure how advanced DJI is anywhere else within the world for no-fly zones in certain areas. I know that for the United States, it's very, very advanced, and there's a lot of areas that you can't fly. So there's no 10-bit log for in 6K. There is, yeah, you didn't I just put it in 265 the other day and filmed in log? You got me thinking right now because I haven't done log for a long time already. So I got off of my log after a while because I was just tired of color grading it. I thought it was 10-bit in log. Yes, 10-bit, but only in 30 FPS at 6K. 24 FPS maybe. I did a video on it. Okay. Can you post a link in here? Is it possible for you to post a link in here for the video that you made? Might help out that brother right there. I used the Autel Rex 709 lot on Air 2S D-Log 4K 30p footage, and it works surprisingly well. Well, there's a lot of lots out there that surprisingly, like mine's on used to be for the Aris camera. I used to use that lot for my stuff in DaVinci, and it looked actually pretty great. I have the Evo 2 8K. I might buy the 6K camera. We'll see. Yeah, I would recommend it. If you're, let's say it that way, if you are wanting to upgrade during low light, then I would say the 6K is a good option, especially because this drone is just a body and you can just purchase the camera itself. But like I said, right now, the drone itself runs on certain local retailers for under $1,000. So I just read that somewhere online. So somebody posted and said, "Oh, at my local Best Buy right now, it's below 1K, guys. That's a deal. It's a steal. If I could afford it, I'd pick it up." Anyways, let's move on forward. So the next one that I have on my list right here, which is my all-time favorite, which I started with as a beginner drone, which does not have geofencing, but it's awesome amount of fun, is the Parrot Anafi, my friends. So as you guys see right here, last purchase was in August 30th, 2019. And that is the Parrot Anafi. And the Parrot Anafi itself right now runs for $700. So is it worth it buying? No, not at this point. I would say because the problem is that it's just so expensive. For $700, you can get something way better. But for a beginner drone, if you can get it used, because I've seen it used in forums, the Parrot Anafi with multiple batteries and the controller and all that stuff that comes with it. If you go via PayPal, just make sure you don't get ripped off. But this drone itself has given me so much fun over all these years flying it that I had like 3 of these at some point, and it's because I had to fix them because I trashed this drone how many times, and these batteries, they're they're lasting forever too. Like I had no problems with swelling and all that stuff, and I flew like 1,000 flights with this thing. You know what I mean? And then the batteries, yeah, you gotta purchase new batteries after a while. They're kind of like expensive, like 80 bucks a pop, but it's so much. This drone is so much fun. The Parrot Anafi is one of the best beginner drones. It's stable and it has 4K video. But like I said, right now you have the Mini 2. But if you are not wanting to have that geofencing, this drone is your man right here, because she does not have any geofencing. It's a 4K camera and it's an enormous amount of fun. The only bad part is it's a Wi-Fi. So the range on this comes sometimes really sucks, especially if you have like trees and buildings and a lot of homes with Wi-Fi. Then sometimes that range can be interfered with and you don't get that far. But in the United States, like I said, it's all visual line of sight. And when you first start, I'd say go out on a big field and start learning from flying over there first, because it's worth it. Especially if you're flying and you want to learn how to control your drone in any situation. The one thing that I tell everybody what to do is face the drone towards you now, and try to go around an obstacle that you set up for yourself that is not going to damage your drone or whatever, and try to pretend you got to go around this obstacle and bring your drone back home. Because when she's facing you, the controls are reversed, and also you're going to get affiliated with how your drone interacts, how she feels, and how she maneuvers, and how she actually acts while she's doing stuff. And most of the time, I see a lot of people going balls to the wall, super fast, and all that stuff. This drone is super fast, but every drone, just like everything else, is a drifter. So they're not going to stop like a car or a motorcycle, like on a dime or whatever. Once you get off the throttle, and if you don't steer back, these drones going 50 miles an hour, even for a small one like this, they have like a 20 feet braking radius. So you got to be careful about that. And it's going to hurt having something like this hit you in the head, or it can bust a window, whatever, you know? So you got to be careful. You got to be fly responsible pretty much in everything that you do. What's up, my man? Bad tuners in the house. Aloha. One question. Can you tell us why the Evo 2 is dropping the price so much? Because you can find it by $990 with 2 batteries and a hard case. Maybe the Evo 3 on the way. I'm not quite sure why the price drops. I think it's because the rumors of the Mavic 3, DJI might be coming out with another product, or even Autel might be coming out with a sub 250 gram, or maybe even with the Autel Evo 3. I'm not sure, because I asked and they haven't answered me. They haven't told me anything. So they're not really disclosing anything. They're kind of secretive about it. So I can't really tell you. You know what I mean? I have no clue. I don't know. But hey, it's great for all of us, especially because the drone is only a year old and now it costs half the amount that it cost when it first came out, which is really good. So it's great on the consumer. So right now, if you want to pick up one, because even the Autel Evo 1 right now at this point is sometimes more expensive than the Autel Evo 2 Pro, 6K. Just saying. So you might want to look into that. The Parrot Anafi PF7 is for sale on Amazon, renewed for $369. See, that's renewed. It's been used prior to that, but you have at least Amazon as a backing. But there are also online groups like forums and stuff that you can find on, I think, like Facebook and stuff. They have a lot of people in there. Sometimes they like sell theirs and they have like 2 or 3, or sometimes they have even, you pick up one renewed like this from Amazon and then you buy like 2 crashed ones. Where, let's say, the gimbal don't work, or one motor don't work, or one arm is broken, the person does not want to fix it, you can pick those up for like $100, and then you have 2 extra ones just for parts. And there's a lot of accessories for the Parrot Anafi available. So the Parrot Anafi is one of the best things in my eyes that goes up there right now. Now, to go with the hype and all that stuff, all the hype that you actually have available right now, the Mavic Air 2 is one of, or it's actually a DJI Air 2. It's not a Mavic anymore. The Air 2 and the Air 2S are the drones at this point to get within a price range. If you go with the Fly More combo, it's like $1,200, $1,300, or $1,400. And if you go with the regular version, then it's like $1,000 and below. Do I recommend the Air 2 and the Air 2S? I have flown both of them. I have seen both of them, and I'm not really impressed with it based on the price. And based on the performance video-wise, the Air 2S is way better than the Air 2. Am I a big fan of it? Not really, because I have these 2 guys. I bought a used creator And this Mavic 2 Pro still, in my eyes, is better than the Air 2S. The only thing that the Air 2S has on the Mavic 2 Pro at this point is that it's a little smaller, a little bit lighter. And that's where they look into, oh, I wanna have more room in my backpack and all that stuff. I don't care about the room, you know. I go there with my car and I pack up all these guys, and I have no problem with that. You know, I'll take them all. So room is not an issue for me, but if it's an issue for you as a minimalist and you want to put it in one backpack, go hiking and whatnot, then the Air 2S might be something good for you. Plus, it has OcuSync 3.0, which is a very, very, very good connection rate, even for range-wise. And I mean, nowadays, all these GPS drones, they all do the same thing. But now you are up in the above 1,000 league. So if you have the money, and as a recreationalist, you want to spend money on something like this, right now, the $1,000 range is where it starts getting heavy, and that's where it starts getting interesting for you based on what you want. So now you have to understand too that if you purchase any of these drones that are up on $1,000 and above, that you gotta have the hardware to support that kind of stuff, unless you just want to film it and or just look at it while you fly it. Because if you go with a cheaper version, like the Mini and all that stuff, you still get good image quality, and you get 2K and 2.7K and 4K. But 2.7K and 4K is not everything. The biggest thing that you see in difference on these guys, size-wise and all that stuff, when you look at the camera right here, you know already that both of these guys, when you look at these cameras, they're in comparison. This is the Mini right here, and this is the Autel Evo 2. It's the sensor size, and the sensor itself is one of the things that gives you the most clarity, that gives you that detail on the imaging that this 4K cannot give you. You know, it's nice, it's a nice 4K, but it's not as detailed, and it has less megapixels and all that stuff. So there's a lot of things that comes now into technicality. So there it comes down again to what do you know already about it. But as a beginner, I would say you don't have to start off with the Autel Evo 2 Pro, but if that's the only thing that you're looking at because you're wanting to have it later on for doing jobs, for getting your Part 107, for getting more into the hobby and all that stuff, if you can afford it and you want to purchase one up higher, now you're looking at big dollars already. So if you're looking at, like, for example, on Amazon right now, this thing is not on a sale. You know, the 6K right now is $2,000 still yet on this Amazon page. But that's why I say local buyers these days on Best Buy have this for $1,000. So, and that's pretty much what you're looking at. You know what I mean? You have to think about budget, purpose, what is your experience level, and what you're going to be using it for. Because, like I said, as a recreationalist, what is there much to do unless you want to really do really good videos, really nice videos for YouTube? And then what is your purpose on that? You want to grow bigger on YouTube? You want to do stuff on YouTube? You want to film this for YouTube and make it look super good because you have something else in mind? There has to be a purpose on why you want to have that superior image quality. Because other than that, Mavic Mini 2 or Mavic Mini is good enough. Besides that, if you're not into it for that whole FPV stuff, I'm missing out on the chat. Let me go through the chat first real quick. Do you think Autel will send you a smart controller? And they said they have limited units available, so they might send me one, they might not send me one. I have no idea. I know that the smart controller is supposed to get dropped already one of these days. They said something like mid-May or whatever, if it's not even out for sale already, because I know the pre-orders and stuff went out. I can't tell you, bro, because I have asked them, and that's the only answer they have given me is that, oh, they have limited unit for send out. And it's probably because they just don't want to tell me no, because they know that I do a lot of Autel videos, but they probably just say, oh, this guy is not big enough. 3,200 subscribers is not much, you know, and when you look at my average views, it's between 500 to 1,000, sometimes 2,000 views over like 2 weeks, 3 weeks period. It's not 40,000 views. It's not 20,000 views. It's not 50,000 views. And that's what a company looks at. It's all about money, guys. You know, hopefully not. Oh, well, nothing I can do. I agree. The Mavic 2 Pro is still king of the DJI Prosumer class. Yes, I think so too. Just received the Skydio 2 with the cinema kit. Skydio just raised their prices a couple of days from $999 to $1,249 for the basic package. Yeah, a little high for a beginner drone. Whoa, I didn't even know that they raised the price. That's crazy. I know that I was looking into the Skydio too. So this is another thing. So now purpose-wise, let's say right here, Batuna brought it up, which is one of the best examples right there, which is the Skydio. So depending on what your activities are in the recreational field, what you want your drone to do. If you want a drone that tracks you and that follows you and does things for you while you stay doing your snowboarding, hiking, motorcycle riding, bicycling, mountain biking, surfing, whatever it is, and you want that thing to track you, the Skydio in my eyes blows all these guys away. There's no better drone. A friend of mine in Kona has a Skydio too, and he did this whole he does this kite surfing thing, and he actually locked it onto himself with the beacon that he carries on him in a waterproof case, and he goes out with that thing, and he launches it up. Dude, that drone is crazy how it follows you. It has like so much obstacle avoidance, but it just looks super good when he does this stuff. I think he has a channel too. I'm not quite sure what his channel name. I'm sorry. I should have looked that up before. But yeah, so the Skydio 2 is one of the best autonomous tracking drones that I've seen so far. And now it has a controller too, so it's super easy because even I think, if I'm not mistaken, if you have the controller with the Skydio 2 and you push forward, but the obstacle avoidance is on, and let's say there's a tree in the way, the drone will go around it. It still will move forward, but it will go around the obstacle and keep going afterwards. So it's super easy to fly. Way easier than any of these guys, because Autel's obstacle avoidance is so aggressive, it will just stop you in your tracks. You're not going to be able to get anywhere. It's not going to let you. While the obstacle avoidance on DJI is a little bit less aggressive, it still stops you though, and you're not going to be able to. On some drones, I've seen that you can't turn it off. So you can't turn off the obstacle avoidance, and then you stay stuck at it, and you can't get those tight shots that you want where you go through things. Unless you have a little man like this that doesn't even have any sensors to stop you, you know. So that's the cool part about it. But the Skydio 2 is one of the best drones. So thank you, Batuna, for bringing that up. One exception might be for backpacking, then the Air 2S is probably better for that kind of thing. Yeah, it's because it's the minimalist thing. So some people, they look at how possible it is. But like I said, I have a backpack over here, which is like $50 or $60 right now on Amazon. And I can fit anything in here. I use it for my FPV drone, which also fits my controller. And then I still can close it, as you can see right here. It can fit. No more gimbal cover, so I'm gonna be careful. It can fit my my Autel right on the top, right inside here, and I can close it. Okay, so and pretty much the Autel Evo 2 Pro is one of the biggest GPS drones available for like consumers, and that's just the top part of this bag. Okay, and then I have choke room right in here for whatever else I want to put: batteries, wires, ND filters. Extra stuff, my camera and all that stuff if you look inside here. So it looks kind of messy, but this is like great. Like this is minimalist thing. So I'm not quite sure why people say, oh, I have no room for my drone. Then you don't have the right backpack, my friend, you know. So unless they want to go with something really, really small. But even with something really, really small, let's say, oops, I just threw my stuff around. Let's say you go with a small camera bag. Tiny camera bag, right here. Oh, I just ripped off the cover. So tiny camera bag, right? Let me put my gimbal cover on real quick. Gotta love live streams, guys. Live streams are great. So now gimbal cover. So tiny bag, right? This is my huge freaking drone right here, and she fit, right? Does she fit? Like a controller and stuff? No, she doesn't. But usually my controller is anyways on this Skyfire thing. So I have like these lanyard hooks in there, and then sometimes I just clip it onto this. Oops, let me close this. So I just clip it on with a carabine over here. So I still have the bag and the controller still right here. I'm not planning on walking through heavy range and stuff if I have a tiny bag like this, but it fits. You know what I mean? So you have to think about it. It does that. These things fit. So minimalist thing. It's kind of overrated. It's either the wrong bag. It's just like motorcycle riding. There's no such thing as bad weather. It's just bad gear, guys. Yeah, the Skydio 2 really bumped in price. Then add a controller, GPS, fob, batteries, and it really adds up. Yeah, you can run up, like if it's already at $1,400 just for the basic package, the Skydio 2 can run up to like $1,800, $1,900, if not even $2,000. That's why I said, if you purchase a drone, you have to look at budget and you have to look at accessories available or accessories upcoming. You always got to remember there's new things such as extra batteries, extra ND filters, extra propellers, all that nonsense stuff. I contacted them about my SC. They said it should be dropped by the end of the month. Oh, okay. I hope so, by the end of the month. Well, let's hope they don't have a delay. Do you recommend getting the Evo Care? I am worried about my drone start cracking as soon as my warranty is over. My friend, no. To be honest, no. I've seen a lot of people that actually purchased that care package and stuff based on that I stay with the affiliate program, and a lot of people bought the care package. This drone flew 4,000 miles, my friend, and I'm out here in Hawaii, and I fly it constantly. There's not one little small stress crack in here ever, like ever. Like I don't have any. I mean, not saying that it's not going to happen to yours, but in my eyes, if you treat her well and you just wipe it down once in a while, I don't have no issues on this cracking part. So I'm not quite sure if those stress cracks, where they from. Somebody stated it's from these arms, the way they mounted in there. Some people say it's because the way you pop the battery in there or push down on the drone while putting in the battery. I don't see that on this drone, to be honest. Yeah, mine's one was exchanged to a newer version after like 2 months or 3 months because I had the problem with my arm where it nearly dropped out of the sky. But honestly, I think it's a waste of money because this drone has so many sensors and stuff. Unless you're flying it totally reckless and crashing it on your own, pilot error wise, I don't think you have anything to worry about. And plus, I've seen the video of the guy who changed out the body itself. My warranty is going to be up by June, so I'm going to be on my own after that because I didn't purchase the care package at all. So after that, I'm pretty much like, oh well, what happens happens. But I know that the shell itself was like $140, and somebody showed online with a video how they changed out the shell, and it was really easy. It was really good. It was really easy. There was no issues or whatever to changing out that stuff. So I don't think it's worth it because even changing it out yourself, removing all the screws and changing it all out and putting the body back together, it's $140 versus what? The care package is $289 plus deductible. I don't see why. Plus the stress fractures itself are not interfering with your flight performance, my friend. So that's another point right there. So I don't think it's worth it, to be honest. I have on none of my drones ever purchased any of those care refresh or whatever. Not even on this. And this brings me to the next one. If you're wanting to get into FPV and you're not willing to build anything and you want something straight out of the box and you are a responsible pilot and you know how to get yourself acquainted with stuff and you're patient enough to fly the simulator and stuff and utilize your controller with it, I would recommend this DJI FPV. I have a lot of fun with this and I love underlining my GPS footage with this FPV stuff, which comes out great. And a lot of people like it the way it turns out. And with ND filters, even this small sensor right here, this camera in 4K, it looks amazing. I think it's great. You know what I mean? Bob, what backpack do you have? This is the USA Gear. Let me pull it up because I was asked the other day. For it, the backpack itself is the USA Gear. Let me see, USA Gear backpack or camera bag. So I punched in USA Gear camera bag, and right there it's the, oh, let me move your, there you go. So it's the third one right here. It's Amazon's choice. It's $65 right now. It's a super good bag. I ripped my old bag, and as you can see right there, I bought this in August 30th, 2019. So that is 2 years already that I've been using this bad boy. And this is a very good bag. It fits a lot of stuff. You have room for a tripod on the side, and the inside is like exchangeable. Like in here, you can change out all the compartments. But the coolest part is you can change colors on this sucker. Orange for your Autel, blue if you're Cowboys fan, red if you're a Redskins fan, purple if you're, I don't know, what is purple? Oh, Minnesota. Green if you're a Green Bay Packers fan. So you have a lot of options in color wise, you know. So and it's a great bag. I can only recommend it. It's really good. Wait, what happened there? So it's really good. And size wise, what I like is these latches around. They're really big. Like for a big dude like me, they fit around my shoulders. I have no problems with it. They're really good. Because I'm a fat dude, so I need more room on that stuff, and especially around my shoulders. And I have no problem putting all that stuff in there. It's really good. You know, it's really, really good. I really, really enjoy this bag. So where am I? Oh, right there. I can buy the shell. I'm not buying the Evo Care since I can replace it myself. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it's the shell itself is like 140, and like I said, the care plan is like 280 something. You know what I mean? Under $40 for top and bottom, you got it. You know what I mean? It's under $40, so it's way better. Batuna, if you are a recreational flyer, check out CYA Insurance. Monthly for Evo 2 Pro is $8.99 per month. They cover flyaway and pilot error. Now that you said that, I got to check that out. Magic says, don't be giving my bag away. No, I won't. I promise Magic, because Magic is the man that got me this beautiful shirt. So, and I'm looking for a bigger bag so I can fit all my drones inside of one. And I'm actually looking at one right now. So I promise Magic, if I find a bigger bag, I'm going to send him my old one, even if it's used. Fox Trader, to all the beginners, don't sleep on the Parrot Anafi. It's a good piece, especially for the price. You have to look past all the odd. Yes, they have. And that's the funny part. They have continued to upgrade this drone, and plus they have continued producing batteries and stuff for it. I know that a lot of Autel guys are mad because of the freaking X-Star, because they, after 3 years, they discontinued the battery. So a lot of people are pissed about that. So that's another thing too. If you're looking into drones, you got to look at how old the drones are and what the manufacturer's reputation is. For an example, 2 years from now, Autel Evo 2 might not even make any batteries for it no more. We don't know, because they did it with the X-Star. The X-Star was like 3 or 5 years. I forget already how old the X-Star was. So now they're not making any batteries for it no more, but people still have the X-Star. They still have, and it's a good drone, but they discontinued to building the batteries. So now the batteries, some of them was like sky high in price. It was like $200 a pop. But people was paying it because they wanted to keep their drone. I mean, DJI has shown it with some of their stuff. They discontinued certain products for themselves, including batteries and stuff. But it's part of the technology. You know what I mean? Like if a drone lasts you for 3 years, hey, you got your money's worth. Because if you flew it a lot, then you got your money's worth. If you didn't fly it, you shouldn't even be upright, my friend. Because if you're a drone fan and you want to fly any of these drones at all times. I have 5 now, and it's hard for me to keep up flying it all. So I'm taking friends already with me and family, and hey, you guys like fly? Or I let other people fly these drones already because I don't want them to just sit on a shelf. Sooner or later, when I start buying more drones and stuff, I probably will have to sell one of these. The only one that I will never sell is my beloved Mavic 2 Pro, because it's signed by Original Dobo, and I bought it from him for a very good deal, including batteries. So that's another thing. Accessory-wise, Mavic 2 Pro. Right now, because the Air 2S came out, these batteries right here, which are prone to like swell up and have issues with it, you can buy these batteries these days for like $50 for 2 of them. That's what I did. I found somebody who crashed their Mavic 2 Pro, but they had 2 used batteries and they barely used it. And when I looked at it, the cycle charge and stuff, there's like 4 cycles on each of these batteries. So I got to steal $50, 2 batteries for this drone. You know what I mean? So yeah, you got to look into all those things as well. Let's see what else. Insurance is for sucker fools. And Bob, I like the backpack on my list now. It's a very good backpack. Like I said, if you have only one drone, you can put so many more things into it, and you have like all these small pockets on the side, and you can put your SD cards and stuff. It's a really good bag. And I've been using it for like the last 2 years, and it was really good. It's just I had 2 of them. I bought this one, and I bought another one, and the other one, like, you know how the zippers after a while just give up. And this one hasn't done it at all, and it's been hanging here, and I load it up frequently. And it's loaded. I mean, it's loaded. At some point, I had all these batteries, which is like 3 of these. I had 3 of my FPV batteries. I get the DJI, the goggle batteries in there. I get the controllers in there. I get my Mavic 2 Pro inside there. Then I have my Autel Evo 2 in a small bag, which I click on the side over here with a carabiner. I click it onto the side, so it's hanging off of that. And I just grab the whole bag, and on the outside, because you get all these latches and stuff, I put carabiner hooks in there, and I hook in all my controllers, because all my controllers have these beautiful Skyfire aerial enhancement kits to play around with, and I hook them up, you know, and especially this one now, because the way Skyfire designed this part right here, see this is like a beautiful hook to hang on to. So I get one carabiner going through here, and just the controller is hanging on the outside like this, while on my Autel Evo 2 controller, I have the extension kit, but I utilize the front part, which is right here, is that lanyard hook thing, and I hook one of the carabiners in there, so it's hanging inside next to my bag. So I have everything on one latch, and I just lift up the whole backpack, boom, and I'm in the car, you know, and then I take it out, put it on my hood of my car, and I start unloading everything. So if you watch my last video, you're going to see all the gear that was on it. And I think it was, what was the video called? I forget the name of the video. Dang it. Let me see. What's the name of my video, the last one? Does anybody remember? Sorry, live stream. I feel I'm prepared, even though I prepared myself. What the hell? Oh, Mavic 2 Pro or Evo 2 Pro, my first impressions. That video itself, at some point, you're going to see me pointing my camera at all the gear that is on my hood. That's all with this bag. With that bag, the green bag, and hooking up everything. It included everything. My FPV drone was in there. My Autel Evo 2 was in there. And my Mavic 2 Pro was in there. And the Autel Evo 2 was in a small bag, while I had the Parrot Anafi in the backside. And it's crazy how much room this bag has. But I'm looking for a bigger bag that I don't have to put the small bag. And yeah, so it's just one of those things. Once you go down the rabbit hole, you know, like the drone rabbit hole. So, and yo, Walter Hall, what's up, my friend? How you doing? I'm going to call this CYA insurance place on Monday. I'm gonna do that too. And no. Frederick said, I got the same insurance from State Farm. Oh, wow. Okay. Yo, 808. What's up? Yo, Walter Hall. Greetings back to LA. 22 watching and only 11. Yeah, it's because some people didn't find probably the info useful. It's all right. It's okay. You know what I mean? It happens. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. Main thing is that whatever I showed you guys today was helpful to you guys. I think I covered most of the stuff except for the DJI Fly Mode combo right now at this point is pretty cheap. It's $14.98. This thing is actually pretty good, to be honest. If you really want to get into this DJI FPV stuff, I think it's great. It's really, really great. I have a lot of fun with this DJI FPV, and I know a lot of people who have fun with it. And it's a very capable drone. It's not, if you are a existing FPV pilot and you have built your own drones before, then probably that drone is not for you. But it's as a scenic lift, to have it dive cliffs and all that stuff, it's perfect for that. You know, just don't be like that screwbag that was around and flying over an amusement park in Six Flags. You know what I mean? That was crazy, over acting roller coasters and stuff. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's right. So anything else that I forgot? Anything that you guys think that I forgot? I don't think so. I got my 1 hour in on this live stream, and I made up for the mess yesterday because I had to cancel it. And I'm just glad that I got it fixed, because I was really, really scared, because that's a $2,000 camera, including all the extras that is looking at me right now. And I was frustrated. I was devastated, you know. Batuna says, FYI, if you look into CYA insurance, disregard the verbiage dropping 6 feet. It only applies to cell phones. Didn't make sense why it was in a drone policy. Oh, okay. All right, I guess. Rotor Riot has some really good FPV bundles. Yeah, so there are some that are right out of the box, but so far, the FPV itself, the DJI FPV, is one of the best things. Like even with these goggles and stuff, and I purchased like the battery holder and stuff from Original Dobo. Right here, those things are great, so you don't have to have the battery anywhere else. Plus, the wire is secured; it does not slide out. And these DJI goggles, man, that thing is so crystal clear. It's like having that screen right in front of you. Some people get sick and some people don't. So, and he lets you actually wear the stuff while flying it in line of sight and stuff. Go for it. Check it out. If you never done it, I would recommend this drone. This drone is a lot of fun. If you learn how to fly it, and yeah, the FPV is kind of on the iffy side, but it's definitely worth it, man. I really, really enjoy this drone. So it's been an hour. I hope you guys enjoyed my live stream today. It was something different. It was more for the beginners, and I hope I could help you out in looking for a new drone. I will update the description below by tonight that all my affiliate links are inside there. I got to get going and got to get myself a haircut because my hair is like super long. So I'm going to take my brother and my 2 kids, and we're going to go cut hair. Until then, don't forget, COVID-19 is still out there to get you. I appreciate you all for coming today. Give it a likes up. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. And if you don't want to subscribe, that's fine too. And I appreciate all the donations that you guys send me out. And love you all. Don't forget, COVID-19 is still out there to get you. Be a nice human. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Aloha, everybody.